Mexico is a vast, stunning nation, known for its hospitality, friendly citizens, and the largest Spanish-speaking nation. It is well recognized for its long record and is one of Latin America's most significant cities in terms of culture, tourist attractions, and global trade. Whether you're there to take part in the city's unique customs, sample authentic Mexican food, explore its historical monuments, or embark on a personal or professional endeavor to have a wonderful experience, you will have to avoid the common mistakes tourists make when visiting Mexico City. So, what are some of the things you should never do in Mexico City? Number 10. Don't eat street food without washing your hands first. After taking Mexican street food, many people would lament the so-called Moctezuma's vengeance that follows them. However, this is more likely due to their poor hygiene than food stalls. You bear the repercussions if you don't thoroughly wash your hands before using them to prepare food, because the metro, buses and cities are breeding grounds for pathogens. But if you decide to get a quick taco from a Mexican street food vendor, you should exercise some common sense safety measures. Verify that they appear to have access to clean water and ideally a large amount of hand gel on the counter. Number 9. Don't drink in the street. Even though there is some public drinking in Mexico, particularly in well-known tourist areas, it is strictly forbidden. In major cities, avoid drinking in public, since doing so will immediately draw police notice. Based on the cops and your attitudes, they might advise you to stop doing it. But that could be more troublesome, so you should attempt to prevent that. However, you cannot purchase beer at a 7-Eleven and consume it while walking down the street. Only establishments with liquor licenses are permitted to offer alcohol to outside tables on the sidewalk. Number 8. Don't drink the water. Many experts recommend against drinking the water in Mexico because doing so increases your risk of contracting turista, commonly referred to as traveller's diarrhea. As a rule, use sealed bottled water. You should not drink any water with no seal on it, since it can be filled with tap water. Avoid ice as well, because it's unlikely to be created with bottled water, so be careful with your margaritas. In Mexico, large glass or plastic bottles containing purified drinking water are delivered to houses where they can be exchanged for full ones when they run out. You can purchase an empty one and deliver it on your own to one of the several locations that offer this service. If you can boil the water, it becomes safe to drink, even if the tap water cannot be made pure without adding a filter. Moreover, you are welcome to bring your water filter. Number 7. Don't flash your valuables. There is nothing wrong with snapping pictures while on vacations, but store your camera while not in use. If you treasure the items you've packed in Mexico City, use common sense to avoid flashing your jewelry and expensive DSLR cameras on the streets. This is especially important in tourist-free areas and on public transportation, which is a pickpocketer's paradise. This doesn't imply that you can't carry a camera or wear fine jewelry. Be mindful of your surroundings. Keep your passport and visa locked away in your hotel and choose understated jewelry over showy diamond rings. A few other smart precautions include having the appropriate quantity of cash on hand, wearing a front-mounted bag, carrying a secure money belt, and having your pockets zip up. Major Mexican cities have thieves, so take extra precautions with your belongings when riding the metro. Number 6. Don't assume everyone speaks English. This is a typical mistake. It will be best if you don't presume that everyone speaks English, as this is only true in some hotels, renowned eateries, and travel agencies. Speaking to natives in a foreign language can be intimidating, but I assure you it is worth the humiliation. Learning Spanish before your trip is the greatest thing you can do to prepare. Individuals will see you as a well-informed traveller who values Mexican culture and seeks out interactions with locals if they hear you speak a few phrases in Spanish. Since Mexicans are known worldwide for their friendliness and hospitality, you will undoubtedly return home after your trip with a few new Mexican friends. So, learning a little Spanish will help you. It will make your relationships stronger. The best method to understand Mexican culture is through its citizens, if you want to do so. You will be fascinated with the language, and you might even wish to homestay with a Mexican family. Number 5. Don't use the metro at the Horopico. The CDMX provides several ways to get around, including the metro, which greatly links districts. However, because locals utilize it, it is difficult to enter the metro at La Horopico. As a result, using the metro during rush hour is strictly forbidden for tourists visiting CDMX. At 8 a.m. and 6 p.m, avoid using it during peak hours at Horopico. These are the hours of the day when the metro is packed to capacity. It is overflowing with people and necessitates specific skills to avoid getting into altercations with dense crowds, and frequently results in your items being stolen. A few metro stations in Mexico City are also congested at 3 p.m. and during lunch. Consider this aspect in CDMX. It can help you avoid falling for the trap and maximise your time and finances, which is always beneficial when travelling. Number 4. Don't be late. Being late is often considered rude, regardless of where you are on the globe. Contrary to what many people think, Mexico is no different. Late is okay in some circumstances, such as at a large party where many people will be present. Then arriving 20 to 30 minutes late is not a huge problem, but you should never make others wait. Even at large gatherings, arriving early allows you to engage with the host more, meet the family before those who turn up late, and experience the true traditions, as you could be asked to lend a hand with some of the serving or to set up. What's even great is that you enjoy more delicious Mexican appetizers than those who arrive late. Number 3. Don't wander into unsafe neighbourhoods. Given the horrifying news stories about murders, drug cartels, robberies and kidnappings that have come out of Mexico during the past 10 years, many tourists believe that the nation is too hazardous to travel to. However, if you stay in well-travelled places and avoid casually meandering into back alleys while appearing lost and a target for thieves, that is not the case. In Mexico, safety varies from one community to the next. A few blocks of wandering can take you out of the touristy, safe area into a dangerous neighbourhood. It's best to stay put if you need to know where you're heading. After nightfall, there is a higher likelihood of being robbed. Criminals can hide and flee more readily. Avoid going somewhere alone or in the dark at night. Remain in areas that are well lit and populated. Use a cab, Uber or public transportation to get from one city area to another. Number 2. Don't take the first price offered at local markets. Shopping in Mexico's markets is a lot of fun and is a terrific way to find rugs and blankets, pottery, wood carvings, silver, apparel and other items. If you don't use the chance to haggle, you'll pass on some excellent savings. Don't worry about offending anyone. This is a Mexican tradition, and all merchants, aside from those in upscale stores, expect and respect it. Plan to negotiate until you reach an agreement by making an initial offer between 2/3 and half of the vendor's first price. Do not be disrespectful by raising your voice or undermining the value of the goods, because this is not a good argument. Try it, it's enjoyable for both parties. Number 1. Avoid Libre taxi service. At home, when you wave a taxi driver down, they pick you up. You are transported to your location for a modest cost. Although excellent, it won't work in Mexico. These drivers may be unlicensed and dangerous anywhere you travel, yet they are never watched over or controlled. When travelling in these Libre or pirate cabs, the US Department of State issues a dire warning. Steer clear of using any cab that is yet to be called ahead of time or by phone. Have a CTO taxi company called for you if you are a hotel guest. Request the driver's name and license plate number from the dispatcher. Make certain a hotel concierge or other responsible person has the taxi license plate number before you get in. Additionally, it is advised against sitting in the front seat or riding alone in a taxi. Avoid unpleasant surprises by negotiating the fare before boarding the cab. So there you have it. Some advice on what not to do in Mexico, whether you're just travelling through or want to make it your home. Anyway, what part of the video intrigued you the most? And what do you think we missed out on? Comment below, let's engage. Also, please subscribe and leave a like. Goodbye, see you in the next video.